Hello, my name is Allie and welcome to my channel. We are back with London Detective Mysteria, Holmes' Route. Now I will start off saying that I do apologize, but I have to cut these videos shorter to about 10 minutes. We are moving and I just wanted to get some content in, and the only way to do that is to make these videos shorter so I don't have to edit as much. It won't take as long. So I do apologize, but let's go. It was the middle of the night and all the servants had long gone to sleep. The night was so still that I could hear the owls outside hooting as I sat at my desk. Before me, there were books and my diary. This was my private time, and using it as such had long been a part of my daily routine. Or so was the case until recently, but so much has been happening lately that it had become partially forgotten. Still, now I remembered, perhaps I should take some time to myself before calling Pendleton. Ouch, hit my knee. So, what's it to be this evening? What shall I do? Oh crap, we're gonna read a book. I hate the time stuff, but I do have a guide. If you did not see my other ones, I use a guide because I hate bad endings. I cry easily, even in good endings, so I hate bad endings. So this game, I'm definitely using a guide because of the time stuff. So, back to the story. Perhaps I should read a book. I thumbed through a thick picture book that happened to be resting on the table. Encyclopedia of Toxicology. I'd asked to borrow it from Holmes and Watson after the case with Angelica. So many seemingly innocuous things, like the apricot kernel from today's case, can be used as a weapon. I opened to a partially interesting page and began to read. Encyclopedia of Toxicology, an encyclopedia borrowed from Holmes, not for the faint of heart. I'm a bit exhausted. Perhaps I should head straight to bed. My eyes absent-mindedly wandered towards a painting. It was a massive one which hung on the wall of my room. Aw, she looks so cute as a kid. Such big eyes, though, jeez. It was the only thing that reminded me what my family was like. My childhood had almost completely faded away by now. Without it, I doubted I could even recollect my parents' faces. This painting was commissioned when I was only 4 years old, the same year that happened. It's such a pleasant, beautiful painting to admire. Every time I set eyes upon it, it helped to convince me a little more that I knew what they were like beyond vague, fading memories. I didn't know the meaning behind it at the time, but now I knew that both of them had Her Majesty's rings bestowed upon them. The room in the painting was the former living room. It had long since burnt down. The mansion I currently resided in was built to resemble the previous one on the outside, but the inside would never quite be the same. This painting symbolized one of my truest, most precious memories. At the same time, it served as a reminder to never stop seeking my mother and father's murder. Her Majesty said that she had been helped by my mother, that my mother was a woman who would come to anyone in need. I think such steadfast trust was why she gave the same ring to her, and that I have now. I became fixed on the ring as I continued to reach further back into my memories. They were vague in many ways, perhaps parts true and others untrue, but who alive can recall their girlhood days with the clarity of the present? Girlhood is an interesting word. I don't know why, but to me it feels interesting. Until I was 4 years old, I lived in London with my father and mother. It was a windy night, so windy, in fact, that I could hear it howling from my bed. Very suddenly, I heard a strange sound coming from the next room. Ooh, that was juicy. Sorry. I crept outside, opened the door to peek in, and saw everything. Mother and father were still. There, a man pulled a knife from my mother's chest with a wretched squelch. I felt someone grasp my trembling hand. It was Pendleton, who was the family butler even back then. He covered my mouth to keep me from screaming as he carried me out of the mansion. How old is Pendleton? She was 4 years old, and he was still their butler. Interesting. It wasn't long before it caught fire. All the papers the next morning reported them having burnt to death in the blaze. But I knew. I saw a man. I saw his knife. I absconded to an old house in the countryside. It was thanks to the land, Pendleton's tireless care, and the kindness of our neighbors that my closed heart gradually healed. I would bore a hole at the painting on the wall every single night when I lived there, thinking, why? Why were mother and father gone? Why were they murdered? And every single time I asked myself those things, my desire to go back to London and find the man behind the night grew with a fever. All those thoughts filled me to the point of overflowing as I clung to the pendant my mother bequeathed me upon her death. Jeez, that was loud. My God. Family portrait, the only portrait of my family I possess. It once belonged to father. It's interesting. If they did something like this, that means the family portrait should be important for something. Or is it just me? I feel like it might be. To be continued. I'll move forward a little bit more. Chapter 3. The very peculiar boy. Is it Jack they're talking about? Maybe. It was the dead of night. A fog permeated the east end of London. Oh, jeez. Ugh! The blade carved itself into the woman's chest. In the same moment, her throat was twice spread open. Ugh! Cringeworthy. From left to right, skin was slit. So methodical was this act that the surface of her skin remained an unfrayed, perfect line. Ugh. The guttural scream elicited never reached her lips. Her larynx and vertebrae had been severed. The woman collapsed, her eyes focused on nothing, fully absorbed with unhinged fear. Blood flowed out of her in an endless stream, smothering her esophagus? It doesn't have an O in front of it, does it? I don't think so. Or is it just me? I don't know. When her throat became full, it drained to a pool beside her. The chance for survival was non-existent, but she would not die immediately. The road to death by design would be an artless torture. To breathe was in vain. Every breath she inhaled went out the hole in her throat, blood sputtering and thick through her, choking, air never reaching her lungs. God, that sounds, cringeworthy. What she last saw as her consciousness gave way was a dreadful sight, and the amused leering of a man she had never met, and a glint of the object of her demise looming from the darkness. Jack the Ripper! I had to edit it out, but I was trying to read this and I'm going, why the heck is this written weird? It's trying to do an accent. So now I know you're not going to hear my terrible problem with it. Anyway, Christ, it stinks. Where's that smell coming from? Look here, some poor girl's face flat on the curb. Damn drunkard. You think she's conscious? 'Tain't something I would know. Perhaps. Best to wake her. Ah! The hell is this? The two were unsettled by a sight of nightmares. A woman, not a simple drunkard, now drowned in her own blood as her corpse lay on display. What is this? Something's coming, mate. This don't look good. We gotta run for it. I suck with accents, so I apologize. And so they made a hasty retreat, shaken to the bones by the implications which would follow from being found next to a freshly slain victim. Into the embrace of the night they fled.
I heard footsteps coming from over there.
Close enough. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I do apologize again for the shorter videos. But I hope you're enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!